So, hello there, and welcome along to the horseracing.net preview of day 3, the 2020 Goodwood Festival. Now, day 2 proved to be a bit of a mixed bag for punters, didn't it? Because the first 2 races were won by big price winners at 22 to 1 and 25 to 1. But there was a bit of a gamble landed by the Irish Raider Steel Bull in the Molecombe Stakes under Colin Keane. And then the Sussex Stakes, well, it promised plenty and it certainly delivered. It was Mo Hather who came out on top under Jim Crowley, got a really good ride after suffering plenty of trouble 2 furlongs out. He's a Group 1 winner now after promising so much on his last 2 starts. And certainly supporters of Cameco may feel slightly aggrieved back in 4th. He was travelling well on the inside rail, but had absolutely nowhere to go. And hopefully we'll see a rematch between those two before the end of the season. But the action doesn't stop there. We've got an 8-race card on Thursday, and the feature is the Group 1 Nassau Stakes. 7 runners go to post for this 1.25 mile contest at 3:15. And of those 7 runners, 4 have victories at Group 1 level, beginning with last year's winner, Deirdre. She created history as the first Japanese-trained horse to win a Group 1 in Britain since the year 2000. And she's just really likeable, isn't she? She'll likely give this a really good go. She generally does in her races, but the feeling is that this year's renewal is a little bit stronger and she's up against it, conceding weight to some of her younger rivals. Magic Wand, she's another globetrotter. She's a great Group 1 winner down in Australia. She claims on her best form, but she might just find a couple finishing faster than her. And I think this will boil down to a match race between Nazif and Fancy Blue. And Nazif arrives here in brilliant form. She won the Falmouth Stakes last time out. That was her 6th win in a row. And yeah, she's going to come here with really, really strong claims. But she's got to concede a heck of a lot of weight to the 3-year-old Fancy Blue. And the classic generation have a really good record in the Nassau Stakes. They've won 6 renewals of this since 2012. And Fancy Blue arrives here in really good form as well. She looked a potential high-class filly in the making when winning the French Oaks at Chantilly last time out. That was a bit of history. It was a first classic win for a certain Donica O'Brien, just 21 years old, already a Group 1 winning trainer. This is a smart-looking filly, thinks she can take advantage of good-looking terms and provide her trainer with yet another Group 1 win so early into his career. Good look at the rest of the card now, beginning with the 110, which is the Mirabeau en Provence handicap. It's over 5 furlongs, 9 go to post, and this promises to be fast and furious. And we've seen so far at Goodwood this week that front-running types tend to do well. And there's a few in here. Electric Ladyland, she certainly falls into that category. She was a pillar-to-post winner at Windsor last time out, and she'd be dangerous here under a £5 rise. And Glamorous Anna as well, she made all at the same venue 10 days ago at Windsor. She's another that can go close. Caspian Queen, she isn't ridden like that. She's more of a hold-up performer. She was poor last time out, but she could go well if replicating the form from 2 starts ago when she flew home late in the day. But I think the way to go here is with Bal Mal, and he arrives here bang in form. He's won 5 of his last 6 starts and has improved a whopping £27 so far this year. Now, takes his chance on a career high mark this afternoon, but if you look at his run at Chepstow 9 days ago, his latest win, he shaped as though there could still be a little bit more to come from him yet. And bearing in mind the heart he's in, I think he can shrug off a career high mark and go in again. Race number 2 is at 1:45. It's the Unibet Euron handicap. We've heard that name a few times already this week. And this is over 1.25 miles for the 3-year-olds. 12 go to post. And I think in hindsight, this could prove to be a really warm 3-year-old handicap. There's plenty in here that make appeal. Zabeel Champion arrives here in fine form. He's won his last 2 starts. Then you've got types like Bright Melody and Magical Morning, both who represent really strong yards. Celtic Heart's another one who's shown useful form so far, but carries top weight. And the one the market has come for is Magnetised. He's got a really attractive pedigree and has made 2 starts so far. The latest of those was at Thirsk over 1 mile. He finished a next second that day. But he strikes as the type that's open to plenty more improvement yet. His opening mark of 87 could be lenient, and he isn't passed over lightly, but he is passed over. And the one I'm going to go with is Al Salt. Now, like Zabeel Champion, Al Salt arrives here in really good form, has won his last 2 races. Both of those came over 1 mile at Newcastle and Wolves. And I was really impressed with those because he did so comfortably in his races, won them well, and did so while looking green as well. He stepped up in trip here this afternoon, and his mark of 88, £3 higher than for his latest success, could potentially be lenient. I think Al Salt is the way to go in the second race. Race 3 is the Richmond Stakes. It's a Group 2 contest, our first group race of the day. It's over 6 furlongs, 7 due to go to post here, and a bit of pressure on this race, bearing in mind how well last year's race worked out. Golden Horde came out on top. He was a subsequent Commonwealth Cup winner. Remains to be seen whether we'll see quite as good a winner this time around, but a few to consider. Supremacy won a Windsor maiden last time out and is upped in class here. And Admiral Nelson, he's bred to be smart, certainly for his top connections, but didn't fire in the Coventry Stakes last time out. Could be worth giving him another chance, bearing in mind that he was quickly turned out for that Royal Ascot run. But I'm going to go with Yazaman, who looks to have the strongest form in the book here, I'd say. He's finished second on each of his last 2 outings at Royal Ascot in the Windsor Castle, and then the July Stakes last time out. Both of those runs, he showed an excellent attitude and was only beaten by the smart-looking Royal runner Tactical. I think he's the one to beat based on those efforts, and a similar performance here can see him getting nose in front in a Group 2 contest. On to the 2:45 now, the 4th race on the card. That's the Gordon Stakes at Goodwood. This is over 1.5 miles and is for the 3-year-olds. And this race has a bit of a feel of the King Edward Stakes at Royal Ascot in that it's a mini consolation race for the Derby. A few of these arrive here on the back of a run at Epsom, 4 to be precise. And we'll start with Khalifa Sat, who was second at Epsom under Tom Marquand. He was the one who got closest to that all-the-way winner Serpentine, and he'll be popular here, particularly when you consider that he's proven over course and distance. Won here 2 starts ago. He will have to back up that run of Epsom, but I think he does come here with strong claims. And then Mogul's another to consider. He didn't fire at Epsom, and he hasn't fired so far this season, but he's an impeccable pedigree. His connections certainly think highly of him as a full brother to Japan. And it would be no surprise if he was to suddenly take a big step forward here. And Alazi, he didn't run at Epsom, but he produced some smart form last time out, won the Bahrain Trophy. Certainly can't write him off. But the way to go here, I think, is with the favourite, English King, the mount of Frankie Dettori. He was the favourite at Epsom, and, well, he never really got involved, did he? But not many did that day at Epsom. He did stay on well, however, and if you go back to his previous start at Lingfield when he won the Derby Trial, I think he sets a standard here. That was a very smart performance. I think Goodwood will suit him, and I think he can make amends here under Frankie Dettori and take this race. We'll skip over the Nassau Stakes. Already spoke about that. So we've 3 races left to talk about, beginning with the 3:45, the Gus Bourne Nursery Handicap. And William Bligh is the favourite here. He probably sets a standard on what he's shown so far, but there are quite a few nice types in here. Calcutta Cup makes appeal on paper, but I think running back could be the way to go here for Qatar Racing. He looks really nice on paper. He's a half-brother to the smart juvenile Cool Company, and he's shown pretty good form so far. He's finished second twice at Newbury and then at Kempton last time out, was only just beaten there. The step up to 7 will suit him. And in what looks a pretty open race at about 5-6 to 1, I think running back is the way to go here under Oisin Murphy for the Richard Hannon team, who traditionally do very well both at Goodwood and with their juveniles. 2 to go now. We have a maiden at 4:20. It's over 7 furlongs. It's EBF Fillies maiden, 9 due to go to post here. And Tedalina is the one who makes the most appeal for me. She represents a yard in Richard Hannon, who've got a really good record with their juveniles, and she's shown loads of ability so far. She was 3rd on her debut over 6 furlongs at Newmarket earlier this month, bearing in mind that all of these fillies don't have an awful lot of form under their belts, and 4 make their debut. She sets the standard. She's got a good draw installed too, so Tedalina is the way to go in the penultimate race. Last but not least, we have the 4:55. It's a nursery over 5 furlongs. Again, 9 due to go to post here, and this could be the most straightforward race of the day. Very, very difficult to look past the King Power Racing horse, Winter Power. She's got loads of speed in her pedigree. And yeah, she's looked potentially useful so far in her 3 starts, particularly when sauntering clear at Redcar last time out. She won by 5 lengths off a mark of 76. She's up £6 here and is quickly turned out because that was on Monday. But provided that that quick turnaround doesn't cause her any issues, she looked a good way ahead of the handicapper when winning that day. And she's fancied to complete a very, very quick double. Anyways, that was the rundown of all the races on day 3 of the Goodwood Festival. We'll be back tomorrow for day 4, and head over to horseracing.net to find all the latest coverage on everything Goodwood.